Hello and welcome to The Big Picture. I'm Tina Jha. Every year on the 8th of March, the world observes International Women's Day. The purpose is to reflect on the progress made by women in different fields, to celebrate the acts of courage and determination by ordinary women who have played an extraordinary role in history, and also to call for action to bring about the necessary change towards gender equality. The theme set by the United Nations for International Women's Day this year is Think Equal, Build Smart, Innovate for Change, with a thrust on working towards creating a gender-balanced society. According to the Global Gender Gap Report, it will take more than 200 years for economic gender equality to emerge and 108 years to completely close the global gender gap across politics, health, and education. On today's edition of The Big Picture, we analyze the challenges towards bringing about gender parity at home, at workplace, and also in society. To discuss the issue at length, I'm being joined by an expert panel of guests. Mr. Sunil Goel, MD, Global Hunt. Dr. Manohar Agnani, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Health. And Shailaja Chandra, former Chief Secretary, Delhi. A very warm welcome to all my distinguished guests. I would like to begin the show with you, Shailaja Chandra. Just last evening, the International Labour Organization released a report, and it says that in the past 27 years, the difference in employment rates for men and women has, it's shrunk by less than 2%. Despite a decade of efforts, why do you think job opportunities for women have not increased steadily?
I would put it into two baskets. Number one is the basket of the informal sector. Uneducated or poorly educated and having many responsibilities in the house and very little control over the children when they have children, what spacing between children, because I think contraception is key to giving women empowerment apart from education.
Yes.
That is one set. The other set are the formal sector, where you find, if you look at LinkedIn, there is a research study which says they looked at 50 million Indian LinkedIn accounts and found that 75% on an average, I'm saying, the Googles, the Amazons, everything is all the high-tech areas are all with men, not with women.
Yes.
So in both cases, in the first case, I would say till women have the right to be able to decide the size of their family and not have unwanted childbirth, they cannot do anything beyond that. And we still have a very, very large unmet need for population stabilization and control. That's one. Second, they need education, and they need it not just by enrollment in school, but they need education in a broader sense. They're not getting that. Going to school is not the only thing. There are many other ways by which they can be empowered to do something, create something, innovate. Come to the formal sector. I would say in the formal sector, although women are coming in, they're being pushed in. The boards, you have a mandate from SEBI, and that is why only you can have 15% board membership of women. It's not as though it has come from the board, it has come from the company, it has come because of a directive.
Yes.
Same with education and areas like that. You will find that there are plenty of women in the arts and commerce. Are they there in science? I had gone in the morning to JNU. The numbers in the science field are really very low.
Yes.
Because they are not allowed to be conditioned to do mathematics, physics, chemistry. आपके लिए तो ठीक है ना, take humanities, it's very safe, you know, आपको तो lecturer का job मिल जाएगा, नहीं भी मिले तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है. This is the approach. I would say this is a huge mindset policy change required. It's not enough to have vertical systematic ways of doing things. ये program है, ये scheme है, ये project है. It is a question of what is the mindset of the people who have to take these decisions.
Yes, yes. Shailaja Chandra, one of the reports again that I would like to highlight, it was published in the Financial Express today, which says advancing women's equality could boost global GDP by almost 31%, which amounts to $28 billion in just about 5-6 years, which is 2025. But the snail's pace at which the economic gender gap is reducing, how do we aim to reduce it?
See, first you need ownership for the idea that women's employment is something that you want to achieve as a goal, not chasing statistics.
Yes.
A country like South Korea had invested in having a ministry for competitiveness, gender competitiveness, a whole ministry. Can you imagine what would happen if there were a ministry for just doing gender competitiveness, not gender budgeting, but where in every sphere is there competition available from women? If so, what happened? That's number one. Number two, I think when you look at, many of the co-panelists have referred to it, the mindset change of the family. I would say a woman needs three things to be able to move ahead. First and foremost, she needs stable domestic arrangements. If you're on a double income, the couple must be prepared to put half of one person's income only into domestic arrangements. You cannot be going to office and coming out with bacha bimar hai, mother-in-law is not well, father is not well, I have to go to the hospital, I have this problem. The minute you do that, women get marginalized. If you say, I will not go on tour because, I can't come on a holiday because, these are the ways in which you get marginalized. To prevent that, your career, if you're a career woman, your career takes first place. Second thing you need is family support. A woman needs a husband, a partner, maybe in-laws, who understand that she is doing it as a passion, as a career. She's not doing it only to bring money into the family. Her children will learn and they will become better citizens the minute they see that their mother is confident, their mother has the ability to travel, she can go abroad, come back. Nobody is going to say, "Tum to ghumti rehti ho," this kind of a comment.
But there's another mindset that, when both parents are working and the child is being brought up in a daycare or in a crèche, the mindset is that, because the child has not been given proper care by both parents, and supposedly the mother in particular, the child's upbringing has not been up to the mark.
On the
or
contrary,
the education side.
I would completely differ with this. I had a working mother. She was probably among the first civil servants the country has had, a woman civil servant. This was straight after independence. She went to office from 10 to 5, 10 to 6 at a time when there were no mobile phones. There were not even phones in the house. I had chicken pox and a neighbor would come in on me. And I remember neighbor saying, "Poor thing, wo to kaam pe jati hai na." And my mother getting furious that there's no question of pity. I don't want their pity. And my brother would say, "I pity the children whose mothers are home 365 days a year." That was the, I would say, children are very self-sufficient. They have the confidence if they see that their parents are happy. If the parents are happy doing this, they adjust. And they are not latchkey children. In India, there's no such thing so far as a latchkey child. If it's not a creche, the minute the child is 7 or 8, there are activities, there are tuitions, there are all kinds of things going on. I don't think that it's such a big problem if you organize it. And to organize it, you've got to think ahead. What will we do when the child is 7, 8, 9, 10? I would say that the opportunities are there if husband and wife come together. If they have in-laws or parents staying with them, regardless of whether it's the mother's parents or the father's parents, life would change. I know my life changed. My mother lived to be 102 and she lived throughout her life in my house. If I have succeeded, it is not because of my doing. It is because I had the family support that there was somebody in the house. If you have an elder in the house or you have domestic arrangements where you pay extra and have good people, there is no way that children are suffering. Children do exceedingly well, in fact.
But largely in society, not everybody is as lucky as you, because the global gender gap, which was released in 2018, puts India at 108th rank among just 149
but
countries.
You can change it. It's
and there
in your hands to change
there are few
it.
parameters, education, health, in which we are lagging behind. And we are even lagging behind our neighbors like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka on certain parameters. And the first and the foremost thing is to change the mindset. Second is the family support. And third, of course, is support from the society and in particular the workplace for women. So that's it from us in this edition of Big Picture. Thank you very much for your time.